Leo, my dear fire-hearted friend, what if I told you that starting after November 27, 2025, you're entering one of the most powerful turning points of your entire lifetime, a rare astrological window that only opens once every 150 years. And it's about to unlock 33 years of financial prosperity in your life? That's not a metaphor. That's not a maybe. That's a map written in the stars. You're not here by accident. You're not watching this just because the algorithm brought you here. No. This is something deeper. Something older. A force, call it God, call it the universe, call it your soul, is drawing you toward a moment of radical alignment. And that moment is now. Let me ask you something real. Have you been feeling like you've been carrying more than your share lately? Like you've been holding it together for everyone else while wondering when it'll finally be your turn to be held? Maybe you've been questioning why you keep showing up, staying strong, hoping, sacrificing. And yet, something in you hasn't given up. That something is what brought you here. And I want to honor it. Because after November 27th, there's a rare energetic shift that aligns directly with your solar power as a Leo, a celestial push that's not just about money or success, but about claiming the birthright you've long delayed. This isn't about instant miracles. This is about momentum. About tapping into a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic alignment, one that only opens every century and a half, that favors your sign with the clarity, courage, and divine support to unlock decades of wealth and personal growth. I'm here not just as a content creator or a narrator. I'm here as someone who's walked through shadows, studied the heavens, healed through scripture, and watched patterns unfold across generations. I've seen what happens when people say yes to these windows. And I've seen what happens when they ignore them. This video is here to awaken your awareness, to help you prepare and align with this rare cycle so you don't miss it. Because the truth is, no amount of luck can replace readiness. And no spiritual forecast matters if you don't participate in it. So yes, we'll talk about the stars. We'll look at what this Jupiter-Saturn activation means for your house of legacy, money, and purpose. We'll explore the tarot archetypes guiding this phase. We'll decode the energetic and emotional shifts happening inside your heart. But first, I want you to really feel this. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not here by mistake. And most importantly, you are not powerless. So take a breath. Come into this moment with me. Comment below, "I'm ready for my 33 years of abundance," if you feel that something inside you has been waiting for this message. Let me see you. Let our community see you. Because healing and breakthrough don't happen in isolation, they happen when we come together, when we speak it out, when we show up. And before we go any further, let me just say this: thank you. Thank you for your time, your presence, your belief. Every like, every comment, every share, and every subscribe fuels this channel and this mission. Eternal mindfulness is more than content. It's a sacred space. A digital temple. And your presence here is a part of something much bigger than this one video. And trust me, Leo, you're going to want to stay until the very end. Because what the universe is about to reveal today is nothing short of extraordinary. Now tell me, my radiant Leo, what is it that pulled you here today? What if that whirlwind of prosperity has already begun? You see, Leo, what's happening after November 27, 2025, is not just a moment in time. It's a long-awaited intersection where ancient celestial cycles meet your current reality, and suddenly, something bigger than your past, your fears, or even your plans begins to move. At the heart of this cosmic moment is a rare alignment, the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, playing out across the sky in Aquarius, the sign that directly opposes your own. This only happens once every 150 years. It's not just unusual, it's sacred in its rhythm. It's a whisper from the universe that says, now. This is the time. For Leo, this isn't just about astrology. This is personal. Because when the planets gather like this in opposition to your sign, it's not to threaten your throne, it's to crown you. The energy doesn't push you down. It pushes you inward. It calls you not to perform, but to prepare, not to chase approval, but to become the kind of person who doesn't need it anymore. Jupiter expands. It opens doors. It's the planet of generosity, faith, bold dreams, and belief in what hasn't yet come. And Saturn is the great architect. It doesn't hand out blessings without a blueprint. It teaches through process. It strengthens your roots before it lets you rise. When these two forces meet, expansion and structure, they don't cancel each other out. They balance. And when they balance on the axis of Leo, that's where the magic happens. It's like standing in front of a locked vault. Jupiter hands you the key. Saturn teaches you how to use it wisely. This is why I said this isn't about instant success. It's about sustained, soul-aligned success, the kind that lasts 33 years, not just 3 weeks. And Leo, you're one of the few signs with the heart strong enough to carry that weight and still shine. Astrologically, this alignment sits across your axis of value, both material and spiritual. It will ask you to redefine what abundance means to you. It will shine a spotlight on what you've built and what needs to be rebuilt. It will challenge you to rise not through ego, but through purpose. That's the secret no one tells you. True power doesn't need to prove itself. It simply becomes visible. And yes, it will likely stir some discomfort, but not the kind that destroys. The kind that refines. Because before a diamond shines, it's pressed. Before a lion roars, it retreats. Some people call moments like this fate. Others call it destiny. I call it a divine reset, a chance to stop living from survival and start leading from soul. This isn't about predicting your future. It's about preparing you to meet it. You see, when the heavens speak, they don't shout. They whisper. And only those willing to get quiet will hear. So if you've been going through a period of silence, stillness, or solitude, don't rush to break it. That space you've been sitting in, it's sacred. It's preparing you for what's next. Stay grounded. Listen inward. Let go of what no longer fits. Because what's on the way? It's not just money. It's legacy. Not just recognition, but impact. Not just light, but your light, in its fullest, most sovereign form. If any part of you feels seen in this moment, say it aloud. Write it in the comments. Let the world know. Say, I'm stepping into my divine alignment. Let this be the first action you take in claiming the 33-year journey ahead. The stars have moved. Now it's your turn. When we talk about the stars aligning, we're not just speaking astrologically. We're speaking in layers: symbolic, emotional, and deeply personal. And after understanding the rare Jupiter-Saturn conjunction now moving in your favor, it's time we bring in the mirror of the tarot. Because while astrology maps the outer sky, tarot reflects the sky within. And Leo, what's rising within you right now is nothing short of a transformation. The first card that showed itself, and it didn't just appear, it came through with presence, was the Wheel of Fortune. Now I know, that card gets tossed around a lot. People see it and think, luck, or, things are changing, but this isn't just about a lucky break. This is about divine timing finally catching up with the version of you that's been waiting beneath the surface. If you've been feeling stuck, overlooked, or like the world has been on pause while you've quietly done the inner work, this is the card that says the wait is over. Something is shifting. And it's not because of coincidence. It's because you stayed, you listened, and you grew. The wheel doesn't spin randomly. It moves when you're ready, not when you're perfect, but when you're aligned. That's the key. And for Leo, alignment means courageously returning to your truth, even if that truth has been buried under years of expectation, burnout, or silence. Then came the sun. Honestly, I smiled when I saw it. Because how fitting is it that your very own card would appear in this spread? This isn't just about positivity or success. It's about visibility. It's about being seen again, not just for what you do, but for who you are when you're no longer trying to prove anything. The Sun card shows up when it's time to step back into your full energy, after a long season of shadows. It doesn't demand attention, it radiates. And Leo, when you're at your best, that's exactly what you do. You don't chase the spotlight. You are the light. So if you've been dimming yourself to keep others comfortable, or if you've been playing small because the world made you believe your voice was too much, the Sun reminds you, you were made to be seen. And that's not ego. That's purpose. The final card was the Ten of Pentacles. And this one made me pause. Not in a bad way, in a holy way. Because this card is about more than money. It's about legacy. It's about what you're building, not just for you, but for the generations that come after you. This card tells me something is being passed down to you energetically, financially, spiritually, and it may not even be visible yet. It could be an inheritance, a home, a business idea passed down from your bloodline, or even a sense of inner wealth that had been locked away. But it's coming. And not because you asked, but because you're the one strong enough to carry it forward. All three of these cards tell one clear story. The delay was not denial. It was divine refinement. And now, you're walking into a season where your light returns, your fortune turns, and your legacy unfolds. So let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt like there's a hidden blessing somewhere in your story, something you couldn't quite name, but you've always sensed was there? Something that didn't come from effort, but from birthright? If that speaks to you, take a moment and share it in the comments. Because the act of naming it is often the first step in receiving it. Write it down. Say it out loud. Let yourself be seen, Leo. Because you're not just chasing a future, you're remembering who you were always meant to be. So let's be honest, Leo. This isn't a lottery ticket we're talking about. What's opening for you after November 27th isn't about luck, it's about timing. But more than that, it's about preparation meeting opportunity. You've probably heard that phrase before, but in this case, it's not a motivational quote, it's cosmic reality. When the universe gives you a 150-year window that could unlock 33 years of financial flow, It doesn't hand it to you wrapped in gold paper. It offers you a key and it's up to you to turn the lock. And the first turn of that key begins not with a bank account, but with your intention. I want you to take 5 minutes, maybe even right after this video, and write down 3 things you want to build or achieve over the next 33 years. Make them real. Make them personal. Maybe it's owning a home in the place you've always dreamed of. Maybe it's creating income that supports not just your needs, but your purpose. Or maybe it's leaving behind something lasting in impact, a message, a legacy for those who will come after you. The number 33 isn't random. In numerology, it's what we call a master number connected to compassion, creative vision, and long-term mission. Use it as a timeline. Use it as a container. Ask yourself, if I had 33 years of divine support, what would I dare to do differently? Now let's talk about your intuition. Because the truth is, you already know more than you give yourself credit for. We're so used to looking outside ourselves for the right answer, scrolling, comparing, overthinking. But sometimes, the clearest guidance comes from the quietest voice. Start creating a small daily ritual, even just 5 minutes each morning. Sit somewhere still. Place your hand on your heart. Ask yourself, what should I give my energy to today? And then listen, not for a loud answer, but for a feeling, a pull, a soft nudge in one direction. That's your inner compass. And during this next cycle, it will be your best financial advisor. You might feel called to finally share your voice, maybe through writing, speaking, creating, mentoring. If so, follow it. Open that blog. Start that channel. Launch the project that's been sitting in the back of your heart. Because Leo, you are not meant to blend in. You are not built to stay hidden. There is no one else who can do it the way you can. Visibility isn't vanity, it's vitality. And stepping into your own spotlight might be the very thing that opens the flow of abundance you've been waiting for. Now let's not forget energy colors. They matter more than most people realize, especially during transitions like this. For Leo, in this specific activation window from late November through December, there are 3 colors that can help amplify the energy of wealth and magnetism: golden yellow, metallic copper orange, and deep ruby red. These aren't just aesthetic choices. These tones carry vibrational frequencies that stimulate confidence, flow, and boldness. Wear them. Surround yourself with them. Meditate with them. Let them serve as visual anchors for the version of yourself that's already on the way. Every small act of alignment is like planting a seed. And over time, those seeds become systems, foundations, movements. You don't need to build it all in one day. But today, you do need to decide. So if any of this stirred something in you, if your chest felt warmer, your breath slowed, or your imagination lit up, take it as a sign. You're not just preparing for wealth. You're becoming someone who knows how to hold it. And that changes everything. When we start aligning with a larger cycle, especially one as rare and generous as this 33-year window, clarity naturally starts to form around where energy wants to flow next. You don't have to force it. You just have to listen, and allow yourself to see what's already rising in the landscape of your life. For Leo, 3 very specific areas will begin to glow brighter after November 27th. These are not random fields. They are the spaces that carry your blueprint. Your light is designed to land here. The first one is wealth through property and tangible assets. This might show up as an inheritance, an old real estate opportunity that comes back around, or a chance to invest in something that has solid, lasting value. Sometimes it's not about finding something new, but about finally recognizing the value of something you've been sitting on: a piece of land, a home, a family asset, or even a skill that can now be monetized in physical form. The tarot card connected to this energy is the Four of Wands, which symbolizes foundation, celebration, and the stability of a strong structure. For some of you, this may even represent a physical relocation, the purchase of a first home, or stepping into ownership not just legally, but energetically. Because Leo, you were never meant to rent your life. You were made to root. The second area is your natural role as a leader and motivator, a path that may have already called you before, but now becomes undeniable. Whether it's speaking, coaching, teaching, mentoring, or simply sharing your story in a more public way, there's something about your voice that's meant to guide others. Not from ego, but from lived experience. You've walked through enough to know what's real. And people can feel that. It doesn't matter if your following is small or massive, what matters is that you speak from the flame that hasn't gone out, even when life tried to blow it down. This is what I call your soul stage, and it's not something you audition for. It's where you're called to stand when you finally stop apologizing for being yourself. If this resonates, maybe it's time to create that workshop, that book, that group, the one you've thought about for years. The one only you could lead. The third space is where things might accelerate: fast public-facing income through online work, art, commerce, or digital expression. Whether you're in media, design, marketing, performance, or even healing arts, this is the realm where your charisma becomes currency. The tarot card associated here is the Six of Wands, a moment of recognition, celebration, and forward motion. It often shows a figure on horseback, being applauded by a crowd not because they begged for praise, but because they embodied victory. This is what can happen for you, Leo, when you stop downplaying your gifts and start putting them where people can actually see them. The key through all of this is not ambition for the sake of ambition. It's direction with meaning. And the only question is, where is life asking you to step up and shine now, not later? You don't have to choose all three. But I'd invite you to feel into which one speaks loudest to you right now. Not what you should do, but what your body softens around. What excites you when no one's watching? What vision keeps coming back, no matter how many times you've shelved it? And once you've got that hit of clarity, do me one favor. Share it. In the comments. Out loud. With a friend. Write, "This is the space I'm ready to grow into." Because when you speak it, you ground it. And when you ground it, the universe meets you halfway. So tell me, Leo, of these three paths, which one already has your name on it? As your life begins to expand into new territory, the most overlooked yet essential thing you can do is take care of the vessel that's carrying you through it: your body, your heart, your mind. Leo, I know how tempting it is to go full force when momentum finally arrives. When doors start opening and people begin to notice your light, your instinct might be to burn brighter, give more, say yes to everything. But listen closely. Not everything that looks like growth is good for you. This next phase requires discernment, not just drive. It's not about how fast you go, it's about how deeply you stay rooted. Expansion only works if your nervous system can hold it. That's where your real power lies, in your ability to stay open, regulated, and clear as things begin to rise. Start with the basics. Your body is not just a vehicle, it's a tuning fork. When you nourish it well, it begins to amplify clarity instead of chaos. Simple, grounding foods like chia seeds, fresh orange juice, ginger, and calming teas like chamomile support more than your digestion. They open the channels of your heart. And for Leo, the heart isn't just an organ. It's your spiritual compass. The more balanced it is, the more confident and connected you feel. If you've been feeling scattered, anxious, or overstimulated lately, try the 3-3-3 breathwork practice each morning. Breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, exhale for 3 seconds. Do this cycle 3 times. It's simple, subtle, and incredibly effective at recalibrating your nervous system. When your breath softens, your mind follows. And when your mind settles, your intuition becomes louder than your fear. Now, here's something a bit more subtle, but equally powerful. You've probably seen the number 888 pop up lately on clocks, receipts, license plates. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. In numerology, 888 is a frequency of expansion, financial flow, and abundance aligned with Jupiter, the very planet supporting your 33-year cycle. Writing it down, repeating it silently, or even just using it as a symbolic anchor, can rewire your mental focus toward what's possible instead of what's lacking. Use it as a soft reminder, you're in the energy of increase now, not depletion. Emotionally, there's one more piece here that matters just as much, maybe more. In times of change, it's easy to believe you have to become more to be loved or accepted in your new form. But the truth is, Leo, your most magnetic state isn't when you're trying to impress or perform. It's when you're completely, unapologetically yourself, standing in your natural light, unfiltered and unforced. This is where the tarot brings in the lovers. Not as a romantic cliché, but as a deeper invitation into authenticity. Real connection, the kind that holds you steady while you grow, doesn't come from perfection or effort. It comes from being known, not polished. Loved, not earned. The moment you stop trying to be impressive is the moment the right people can finally see you. So if you're carrying the pressure to prove, pause. Breathe. Come home to yourself. The world doesn't need a louder version of you, it needs the truest one. Take care of that version like you would care for something sacred. Because that's exactly what you are. And if this part of the journey is stirring something in you, a knowing, a whisper, even a gentle ache, don't ignore it. Speak to it. Write a comment below. I am learning to care for myself as I grow. Because self-care isn't selfish. It's what makes your success sustainable. And Leo, you were never meant to rise just once, you were meant to rise and remain. Leo, by now I hope you can feel it, the shift isn't just coming. It has already begun. And the truth is, it's not about waiting for something magical to fall from the sky. You are the miracle. The energy you've been praying for. You've been carrying it this whole time. This isn't the beginning of wealth by accident. It's the result of every step, every choice, every time you didn't give up when life got heavy. After November 27th, the gates begin to open. But you have to choose to walk through them. Because yes, the stars align. Yes, 33 years of abundance is available. But nothing changes if you don't say yes to yourself fully, completely, without hesitation. What if your life didn't have to stay the way it's been? What if more joy, more clarity, more ease, more freedom financially and emotionally was not just possible, but waiting on the other side of one brave decision? Can you give yourself permission to want something more, not from a place of lack, but from a place of readiness? Because everything we've explored today, all the insight, all the preparation, it only matters if it moves from idea into action. So I invite you to do something simple, something symbolic. Write in the comments right now, I choose to walk into my 33 years of abundance. Speak it. Anchor it. Let it be your declaration to the universe and to yourself. And if this message touched something real inside you, go one step further. Type the number 888. It's not just a number. It's a vibration. A frequency of trust, expansion, and divine increase, the kind that doesn't rush, but always arrives right on time. Let it be your reminder that you're stepping into a new frequency now. You're not circling the same mountain anymore. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness. This space is more than a channel. It's a container. A quiet sanctuary for your growth. A reminder week after week that you are not crazy for wanting more, and you're not alone in reaching for it. And before we close, let me say thank you truly. For watching, for listening, for opening your heart even just a little bit. Every like, every comment, every share and subscribe isn't just support for this channel. It's an energetic exchange that keeps this sacred flow moving between us. And I don't take that for granted. So as you move into the rest of your day, I leave you with this. May you be rich not just in money, but in meaning. May you be free not just from debt, but from doubt. May you be bold not just in success, but in self-love. You are not alone. You are not late. You are being guided. And Leo, the universe is already applauding the version of you that said yes. Are you ready to meet them? Let's begin.